Hey, welcome to the Backyard Blitz. I'm Brandon Peebler. We got Coach Slick in the house. We got Drew Daly in the house. Forgetting right now, and we got a special guest coming in tonight. But first, boys, we got our stuff scrolling across the bottom. Make sure that you give us a follow. Make sure you go over to our YouTube channel, give us a subscribe. Make sure you hit those notifications. Drew, you're stoked, man. I know you got the World Series going on right now. I know that's going on in the foreground. You kind of keep track of what's going on. How you guys doing down there? I feel like Philly, if you guys win the World Series with an undefeated football team, you guys are going to blow up.
I don't know if we win the World Series. When we win the World Series, see, I will claim my stake as a Phillies fan. I will not claim my stake as an Eagles fan. But the sports in this town right now are very hot. There's a lot going on in the city of Philadelphia. I got the game on right in front of me. But I know the people need me, BP. The people need me. The Backyard Blitz Nation, they want to see us, man. They want to see us. So I'm committed. My boy Gene just put one in the center field. All right, it's an out. But, hey, listen, a lot of stuff happened this weekend. A lot of football. I just want to tell you guys one thing. My high school, they're playing their last game tomorrow, and I think this is a funny little tidbit here. Somehow, man, my mixtape must have got out because my high school's last game is tomorrow, and it's away, and the away team's announcer isn't going to be there, so they asked if I can announce the game, and I said, hell no, man, I ain't going there. Somebody got my mixtape out there, and they're putting it out there, so I said, yeah, everybody's got a price like the $1 Million Man.
Oh, nice. Hey, Slick, you had a huge game this last weekend. How'd it go? Last Friday, how'd it go? I know it was a huge game.
So listen, we end up losing 14-0. Shouldn't have. A lot played in that game. Refs, they got us on like 3 touchdowns, like obvious touchdowns. We had some mental mistakes and play calling was a little questionable, but it is what it is. But at the same time, we made the playoffs.
Whoa.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Rick.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Playoffs?
Take the top 8. We're the 8th seed as of now, but 4 more teams play Friday. So if 2 of those teams that are in our region, if they lose, then we'll bump up to 6. If one of them lose, then we'll bump up to 7, which I'm kind of hoping for the 7th seed just because of how things can maneuver if we are the 7th seed. But either way it goes, it's an accomplishment. I don't think we've made the playoffs since like early 2000s.
Man, that's a huge accomplishment. That's absolutely massive. Well, we got another big thing that's going on here tonight. We're going to bring in a special guest. Now, he's another teammate of mine from the Griffins. I always say football's family. He's going to come on here in just a second. We got quarterback, legend, Batman himself, Brandon Gantt joining the show. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's going on? What's going on, Peebler? What's going on, Slick? Drew?
What's up?
2 Brandons on here, man. My mind,
I know, right?
Racing, bro. My mind is going crazy right now. I can't figure it out.
Oh, man. Hey,
BP, BG.
That's right. And that's how we rolled, huh? That's how we rolled, man. It was like
Absolutely.
we had you had me, and you couldn't stop both of us at the same time. You had to pick your poison.
BP, you got 2 Griffins QB greats in the same room right here.
Yeah.
It's a quarterback overload.
Where were you guys when I needed you? Where were you guys when I needed you?
The maddest guy is in the upper right-hand corner. It's Slick.
Yeah, I got to be like, come on, man. Where were you guys when I needed you?
Ricky had Tiny Tim throwing the ball to him. I don't know.
That was real, man.
Poor Ricky, bro.
I felt so bad. If he had one of you guys, you would have, Slick. I know you would have gone off.
I mean, I made the best out of it, though. I still had some stats, though.
Yeah.
I still make the best out of it.
Yep. We're excited to have you on, BG.
Yeah, man. I'm glad to be here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got a lot of football to talk, but Brandon, I've been noticing you've been up to something. You got something kind of special that you're brewing up down in your neck of the woods, and I really wanted to bring you on. Number one, if you're a Griffin, your family, man, we played together, your family for life. So I see your stuff, and I wanted to give you the opportunity to come on here, tell us what you're up to, and kind of give us a recap what's been going on the last 10 years. So
VP,
I'll turn it over to you, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, what we got going on, man, is an app called Sapy. Now it's a marketplace. We're mixing a little bit of Airbnb, but we're adding it for food. So what we're doing is we're connecting local people, customers, to like food businesses that are those backwood businesses, you know, the ones that tell everything about the community, the environment. And we're giving them, those people, the platform to be able to connect with a lot of foodies in their area, a lot of customers in the area. And it comes really, like you said, man, family and connection. One thing about me is, you know, I love to stay connected with my people. I love to connect with people just in general. That's why we were all the way, you know, on the other side of the world connecting, you know, in Germany and that type of thing. And so what we're really doing is we're bringing that whole community piece back to the whole world, man. And it really came from, you know, the last 3 years spending a lot of time in isolation. And so now, me personally, I like getting up with people, and I'm an eater, dude. I can't lie. I love to eat. I remember you had the pizza spot back in the day.
Yeah, man, right? We had that coming over to the house all the time.
Absolutely. So my thing is really, man, connect these businesses. And you know how hard it is for businesses that, you know, break into the food industry. There's so many things stacked against them. And so I wanted to give them an opportunity. And really, it's going to connect people. So the next time I'm in Idaho, the next time I'm in, you know, Philly, I want to go to the nice places, man. I want to go to the good places that the local people are going to support the community. And so Sapy allows people to do that. It gives people a chance to find those, you know, those local pop stops, shops, those food trucks, those venues, those vendors, and allows you to order directly from them. So what we're doing, we're trying to take back, you know, the world and connect the world as best as we can around the table. And so that's what we have going on with Sapy. We're launched in South Carolina. We got a few customers out in Austin, Texas. But the plan in the next 5 years, man, is to be worldwide. So anywhere you go in the world, you know what I'm saying, you can download our app. You'll be able to find exactly, you know, that's one of the first questions you asked. That was one of the first questions I asked when I got off the plane. All right, where can I get a good cheeseburger from? You know what I mean?
Yes,
not realizing
that answer was
nowhere. Nowhere. Hey, but you learn how to
Burger
adapt.
King
like,
down the street. That was pretty good.
We had the McDonald's. Remember all the little
we had all those little coupons.
What was the name of that place? What was the name of that place right under our?
It was called like the Americans.
Hot Million.
Hot Million.
Hot Million.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hot Million.
Right?
It was just,
So,
it was
the Bob,
I was like, I'd never seen a burger this color before. Like, I don't know what kind of meat this is.
Hey, but that wasn't bad though.
It was kind of hard.
I wouldn't say it was.
But we
good,
had
but...
remember we had the kebabs across the
Turkish dudes. That's that food, so that's why that was so good. But it was like the pizza place under our house. Oh yeah, it was awful.
You weren't finding it, but that was my thing. So connecting those people like the Turkish people from across the street with those kebabs, Brandon. I remember we used to get them things loaded. And when Brandon was walking up, they were shaving off the chicken.
They already knew. They already knew.
So we're really trying
double fleisch.
Yep.
You know it. So that's what we're doing, man. We're trying to connect those businesses with everybody else, man, and not keep them on the back burner. And so we're excited where we're going. I got a good team behind me. As you guys know, it's all about your team. So I got a strong team behind me. And, you know, we're just making moves.
I love it, man. So let me ask you, our viewers, so they're interested. They want to do everything that they can to support. And I know they're kind of all over the place too. So how can we best support you? Like just going down and downloading the app, or tell us a little bit about how we can help support
Absolutely. So 2 ways, man. And I say we launch in different places. It's easy for us to launch. We need one business and one customer, and that's all it takes. So download the app.
Lucy's.
We're on that. Hey,
we can get Lucy's on board. Get him out here.
What a perfect combination.
Wow. Look at that.
Making things happen here on the back.
Hey, what I won't do, I won't forget about that. I'm going to call him up right after this.
We're going to transition from a football podcast to a business podcast. Let's just call it Shark Tank.
Let's make it happen. Yeah, man. But download the app. We're on the App Store. We're on the Play Store. SAPI app, APP, and SAPI is SAPI, and it stands for Save a Plate. There's a long story behind that about, you know, guests coming over to the house and all kind of stuff. But I ain't gonna bore y'all with that. But yeah, download SAPI app, man. If you don't have any businesses in your area, if you know anybody, tell them to download. They can make sales right there on the app as well and connect to a larger range of customers. So that's the best thing.
Can download too, Brandon?
Absolutely. So it's for businesses and for customers. So businesses that download, they take pictures of their stuff, and then people can buy it. Anybody who has the app within like a 3-mile radius.
Hey, this is one of the owners of Lucy's right now, Brandon, right there. He's watching right now. So let's hook that up.
I like it. Yep. Check out SAPI.
Hey, Timothy, one of these days, somebody's going to hit the right score, by the way. Just saying.
I know, man. Shoot. Hey, Brandon, we appreciate all that stuff, man. And I love seeing all that stuff. And we definitely want to give you a platform for that. And what was really cool when I asked Brandon if he wanted to come on, I was like, yeah, you want like a 10, 15-minute spot? And he's like, man, I'll hang out as long as you let me. So Brandon's going to hang out this entire show. He's going to play some ball with us. We got the squad today. We got the squad today. We got the squad today. So with that being said, we got to get to our winners and losers of week 8. We'll start with Slick up there in the top right. I already know who it is. Drew knows who it is. Man, who's your winner this week? Just let us have it. Just let us have it, Slick. Just let us have it, man.
They needed a number 1. They just needed a number 1.
Hey. Philadelphia Eagles. Shout out to my college receivers coach, Nick Sirianni.
Okay.
Hey, he's getting it done out there, man.
Number 1, Rick?
Say that again.
Because they needed a number 1?
That's all. No, Hurts needed a number 1.
Oh, okay.
Now
he got him.
He got him. Yeah. And he is he not using him the correct way?
Yeah. But somebody said Devontae Smith got kidnapped.
I saw that too. So I saw somebody say that.
I think
it was somebody pretty wise.
Yeah, I think it was too. I almost told him I haven't heard the Amber Alert yet, so we'll hold off on Devontae being kidnapped. But they've been packing their defense though too, right, Slick? They've been playing good offense, and they've been playing some defense out there, and they just had another addition in Robert Quinn coming on over. So that's a big addition.
Yeah. Yep. They playing ball, man. I mean,
Philly's tough right now. They're tough.
It's just crazy how last year Sirianni was like a joke for like a while because of his press conference interview. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about Hurts, how he wasn't this, he wasn't that. They was talking about how he got his spot took in college and he wasn't. Hey man.
Me and my friends talk about this all the time, how Sirianni is like the prototypical like tell you what you want to hear guy. He does all this stuff to hype up to Philly fans and to the Philly media. Like he wears shirts with Jalen Hurts' face on them, and he wears like throwback Eagles jerseys, and he tries to fight players on the other team. Like he tries to be Philadelphia. He tries to be Philadelphia.
If I'm not mistaken, I think he is from Philly. I think he is from Philly.
He's from Philly, right?
I think he is from Philly.
He's got that accent.
I think he is from Philly. He's Italian, and I think he's from Philly.
Indiana.
No. He's not from Indiana. He coached at Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
He tries so hard, dude.
Nah, I believe he is from Philly, and then he went to Mountain Union. I think he is from Philly.
We're gonna have to look at that. Matter of fact, thank God I'm on my computer.
Hey, Google.
Hey, Google's your friend. Speaking of, so we got the Philadelphia Eagles that are undefeated right now. Drew's got his Philly jersey on.
He's from New York.
He's from NY.
Is that too far to say close enough, Drew?
Yeah, it's like 7 hours.
7 hours? 7 hours away?
Where he's
Same mentality. I like it. Whatever. All right. So Drew, anyway. What do you got with your winner this week, man? I know that you're fired up over him. What you got this week, man?
BP.
You hear me?
I'm drawing a blank. I went with Cowboys.
Oh shoot! Yeah, I was like, man, my mic didn't go out, did it? I was freaking out.
No. Yo.
You texted it to me today. Hold up.
Yes, the Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
The Cowboys. Yes. Yeah. All together, the Cowboys absolutely rolled the Chicago Bears, and like, dude, they put up 49 points on the Bears. Dak comes back, has a good game, but I'm more impressed with Tony Pollard. And Tony Pollard specifically was my winner of the week because, dude, he carried the rock for 130 something yards on like 14 carries or something like that. Dude, he looked, and we've always seen it. We've always seen it with the Cowboys. Pollard, I think, like, gives you a spark sometimes that Zeke doesn't give you, but Pollard looked really, really good this weekend. And to the point where, you know, he needs to start getting more touches, and he needs to be, you know, more in the game plan, and they need the game plan for him and give him, design more touches for him. My winner of the week is not only the Dallas Cowboys for lighting it up on Sunday, but, you know, Tony Pollard in particular.
So what do you think? Like, do you think that he should be the lead back there in Dallas? I know that there's been a little bit of talk of it this week with the kind of spark that he provides.
Yeah.
I know Zeke gives you those tough yards, right? And he's a good blitz pickup guy. Yeah. But Pollard seems to have that home run ability. Brandon, you're shaking your head. You seem to think so.
Pollard's downhill, man. And I don't know if it's the play calling that's different with him. I don't know if it's just him just getting downhill in an instant. I think you got to get that boy his touches, man. You can't run 130 plus yards in the NFL against that dang Chicago team and not be solid. So yeah, he surprised me, and I can't stand the Cowboys.
I like
Pollard. I think like we were ragging on Zeke a little bit in the preseason, but dude, he's having a nice little year, and he's still running the ball well.
Yeah,
you're not cutting him out. You're not cutting him out of the game plan, but. You know, use this guy. You know, the shelf life of an NFL running back is so small, man. Use this guy while he's producing at this kind of level. You got to take advantage of it, and you got to get him more touches.
Yeah, I agree. You definitely got to get him more touches and get him more involved. It's just like you said, the spark he brings. He changes the whole dynamic of their offense, the run game. It's kind of like when they had McFadden and Felix Jones.
Oh yeah.
It's similar to that, or Barber and Julius Jones. It's similar to that.
Yep.
Zeke is the down guy between tackle power guy, and then you put Pollard in there, and he does a little dancing here and there, or he'll get between the tackles real quick and next thing you know, he's on the third level.
Yeah, so my thing with that is I like Pollard for how the game is kind of going now. It's all about speed. It's all about being able to catch the ball out of the backfield. I really like that from him. He's probably not the best blitz pickup guy, which they put him out on routes. He kind of chips a little bit more, where Zeke's got that solid frame that I talked about extensively in the preseason, which I got roasted by your buddy there, Drew, for saying that he put on a little weight. But think about this. If you have them both in the backfield, like that's a problem. That's a problem. Who do you go after, right? So that's big time. Well, boys, I know that you guys are just waiting for, my winner of the week. And Drew, I happen to remember, and you're dang lucky I didn't pull this
up. The Phillies are on, Brandon. I'm going to take
So my winner of the week is
I can't hear you. Yeah, I don't hear what you're saying.
Christian McCaffrey. Here's a little thing about Christian McCaffrey. Okay. He reminds me of somebody. He reminds me of somebody on this podcast. Boys, he reminds me of myself. He reminds me of me. He had the trifecta. No, here's why. He had the trifecta, right? He threw for a touchdown pass. He ran for one and caught one. Now, I happen to have some video here. We'll just kind of take a look at, some exact. So here he is throwing the pass there. And, as he was throwing that, I was like, man, I happen to remember a time. Oh, here it is.
Who is that?
Oh, here it is. Look at this. Oh,
no.
Throwing it to Guzzo. Look at that. I got the old arm right there. Okay. So that's one. Now here's Christian McCaffrey kind of coming out, run a little bit of a wheel route, unscripted play. Unbelievable catch. That's great. God. But I happen to remember another time, same game, right over the middle. That's you delivering the ball there, Brandon. Boom.
I think so.
Touchdown. Now, I know that I've run a touchdown in the game, but here's Christian McCaffrey doing it. Now, mine was just a little bit longer. I had to stiff arm a couple people here, right? Take a look going off the side. Now, look at this. Little stiff arm. Bam. Get off me. Little flex in the end zone. Now,
Okay,
only if
okay.
Christian McCaffrey could play special teams.
Oh,
Okay.
my
If
God.
only he could play special teams. Because watch this.
I was there. I saw it.
He synced it.
God.
I
He's
synced it. I
Who you
synced
guys,
it.
who you
He
guys
synced it.
playing? St. Mary's School of the Blind or something? Like, who is that over there? BP
Hey,
could
my
not
winner
wait
of the
to
week
get
is
his.
Christian McCaffrey.
BP
I couldn't
spent
believe
all week cutting up
All
that
Sunday,
highlight film.
just
He could not
battling
wait
it up,
to get his
going
highlight
back
film
into
on
the
his
archives, dusting them off.
Oh
You know,
my
look at this
God.
tape. I remember I did this back in the day. My winner is Christian McCaffrey
Yeah.
and how he is changing the offense there in San Francisco, whether you
BP's
like it or
forearm was
not. Drew.
cramping up making this friggin' clip, dude. 'Cause he's so excited about watching himself on film. Couldn't get enough of it.
I couldn't resist, Drew. You know, if you scored that way, I know that I'd never hear the end of it. Problem is,
Mhm.
you know. All right, so we got some losers of the week here. Not everything was, you know, trifectas. By the way, that was the first time. So four times that's happened in NFL history since the merger. So congratulations to Christian McCaffrey. That was a phenomenal game against the hated Rams. But we got some losers this week. And Slick, we're going to start with you again. Now, what didn't you like in week 8? What team did you just think just had a horrible outing?
I have to go to the Bengals.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that was miserable, wasn't it?
Yep.
That just and if I'm not mistaken, I think I might have picked them to win.
Larry,
Yeah, I
touche,
think we
man.
all
That
did.
was good.
I think we all did, Rick.
Like it was like my thing is, if it would have been a close game, I still would have been like, it's the you lost to the Browns, but what was it, like 32 to like 13 or 12?
But, yeah,
Like,
not for nothing. To our credit, we didn't know. I don't think that Chase was hurt at this time last week.
We did.
I mean, we did it.
It came out the next day that he's going to miss the next 4 to 6 weeks.
It did, but
It matters.
It matters.
He doesn't play defense.
I was
Right,
going
he
to
doesn't
say
play
the defense
defense.
couldn't stop
No.
anything, and it's still Brissett back there. But I do like the fact Amari Cooper did have a night, helped me out of fantasy.
So it wasn't a complete
If
loss.
only they had BP playing defense and this team
Oh
would have
my
been
God,
going
he's
to the
never
Super
gonna let it.
Bowl.
Never
Let
gonna
me
let
tell
it.
you what, boys.
No.
When I was playing, Frank was fucking a nickel.
Oh my God. The Bengals were huge losers. I thought after the performance they had the previous week where Burrow had thrown for 4 touchdown passes,
he got
was just
off.
lighting it up, right? The Bengals looked unstoppable, looked like they were back in their form. And then to go out there on Monday Night Football against a divisional rival, that was bad. I don't even know what to think of them kind of going forward. And this year's kind of been crazy, but that NFC or AFC North is absolutely wide open. So good pick there. It's like they were a big disappointment. Now, Drew,
see me?
other than, go
I
ahead.
loved it. You
You loved every second of it. Yeah.
I love
it. You got that Ravens cap on,
Hey,
bro.
but I root for y'all week in and week out too, just because I like Lamar.
Lamar. Exactly. You got to.
Hey, I think they're going to be a scary team in the second half, and they picked up Roquan Smith this last week.
Yes,
so
sir.
Yes,
that's,
they did.
Yes, sir.
that's big on that
Yes,
defense.
sir. We need
Now,
it.
Drew, I'm going to peel you away from that game for a second so you can
Huh?
roast a particular team. Are you sure? Is it the Rams? Do you want the loser to be the Rams or
Hey,
like?
listen, all right, I'll give credit where credit was due. All right, the friggin' 49ers won a game. Hallelujah. Congratulations. They won one, BP. All right. They look pretty good, too. I hope so when you're trying to buy a championship. Jimmy Garoppolo,
wow.
21 and 25 for what? That's Carson Wentz range, dude. Dump off,
Yeah.
spot route by the tight end, dump off, swing route, flare. Don't get too excited, all right? My loser of the week, this guy, man, this team, I had high hopes for this team to be somewhat average, and they're not doing it. And it's directly responsible, I think, for this guy, and it's the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be the second coming of whoever they want it to be, and he's not getting it done. You got guys out there in the run game, ETN putting up great numbers. He ran for 156 yards, dude. He needs help. There was times in this game where Jacksonville had a chance to. They were leading 10-7 at halftime. There was times in this game where Jacksonville had a chance to bury the Broncos, who aren't playing good football right now. And dude, he's just not getting it done. He's like a little over 50%. He throws for 130 something yards and 2 interceptions. He's just not
number one overall pick.
He needs a number one receiver.
Oh, he needs a number one.
No,
I saw that they just signed Calvin Ridley too.
He needs all-state quarterback training based out of South Jersey. Cheap plug, by the way, but he would do a lot better with he would do a lot better with that. All right,
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, so my loser of the week is the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence, dude. If they're gonna do anything and make any noise here in the future, he's got to get it together. He's got to get it together, or they got to make a decision on him.
I knew for a fact. I'm right here in South Carolina, so I watched the Deshaun Watson transition to, and I'm just like, I knew there was something about him. I don't think he's number one. I think Jacksonville has to go another way sooner or later. I don't know, Trevor.
Yeah.
He's
tall. You guys really don't.
I don't like that. Those tall guys never work out for me.
If he had a true number one receiver, which he has not had, you got to think Kurt is his go-to, and Kurt is a slot.
Yeah, he's a number 3.
Exactly.
Number one.
That's his go-to.
I think it's more than a number one.
It matters.
Receiver,
yeah,
it does matter. But
we just talked about the Bengals. How they didn't have Chase, and they had to rely on Higgins and Boyd, and it didn't get done.
I'm gonna tell you, Trevor Lawrence, and I watched him in college, right? He tries to make throws that he just cannot make.
So long, dude.
He can't make them. His release takes long. He's staring down receivers. Like when you watch him, he just doesn't have the tools. He played in a great system at Clemson.
He played in a great system.
He played in an amazing system at Clemson. He was a good player in that system. But then that transition to a different system,
opposite of Doug Peterson's system. It's completely different.
He does not have it. And I've been saying this since his sophomore year.
So are you guys saying that like this is it? Like write him off. Like he's gone through coaching hell with Urban Meyer and kicking kickers at practice or whatever he was doing, and knowing what he was doing like after team games, right? His little lap dances and all that. Yeah. But then you go to Doug Peterson is his first year, and they're trying to build it. I'm not a big fan of their GM and Trent Baalke because I don't feel like he can draft, and I don't feel like he knows how to sign free agents. In fact, they made a trade this week for Calvin Ridley, who can't even play this year. Like he might still be suspended next year. That was weird, right? That was weird. Do you say it's Trevor, or do you think it's what he's surrounded by? Because I think it might be a combination of both. But how long of a leash does Trevor have? Like you guys are saying, like. Move on.
Dude, I think he's got to the I think he's got to the end of the year before you really have to start considering your options, man. Because if he keeps playing like this and there's no improvement, you guys know, man, it's the oldest cliche in the book, definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah, I feel like he needs help.
But here's the situation.
I mean, I just
losing
don't see
games.
He's turning over the ball.
I get what you're saying. He is. I'm not disagreeing with anything that you guys are saying when it comes to his playing and he's losing games. But what I'm saying is on the next level, the NFL level, usually when you have those guys that come in early out the gate, they're rookies, they're starters. You have to give them something in order for them to get caught up with the league. The speed of the league, just the whole gameplay.
I agree.
Some guys come in and they're put in great situations to where they have good backs, a good defense, a good O-line, a good one, a good two. They have a crazy rookie year. You got some guys that get put in situations. Exactly. Then you have some guys that come in situations and they don't have all of that. And it's like, dang, he's terrible. He's terrible. He's da-da-da. No, he doesn't have a help. Like, let's be real. Peyton Manning, his rookie year, it wasn't great. And then when they started
for like 20 some odd interceptions.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And when they start putting stuff around him, now he's a great. You got to help him out. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you. Well,
if this was like year 3, year 4, and he's still doing okay, cool. Yeah, you got to get rid of him. But I mean,
what is it? Year 2, right?
Yeah, year 2. And this is why, right? Like we see a lot of number one
as far as their talent, in my opinion, from last year, defensively and offensively.
Yeah. But this is why we see number one overall picks struggle, like traditionally, right? They show up to a team that they're supposed to be the savior, and it's usually the quarterback that goes there. We've seen it with Mayfield. We've seen it with Kyler, and we want them to be that. And he was nobody did him help when they're doing the draft, right? Calling him a generational talent. So that's what we expect. We expect him to be able to go in there like a Mahomes, but those guys just aren't around. It took Josh Allen to year 3 to kind of start turning that completion percentage around. So I think it's a little bit too early to punt on the Trevor Lawrence era in Jacksonville, but you're right. I think he needs some help. And if he can't get it done with that help, then you got to take a look at that. And that's what's tough about having that investment in a quarterback so early. But yeah, he's turning over the ball. He's fumbling it. He's throwing picks.
Overvaluation kind of quarterback. So it made me jump to the Titans game this week to check Malik Willis's stats. 6 of 10.
Man,
he was 6 of 10 for 55 yards and an interception.
Hey, he just got to turn the hand to number 22, bro.
Absolutely, Willis. Oh, I know, but I'm just saying,
yeah.
It's talking about you don't have to do anything.
But see, that's
he did what they asked him to do.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He did what they asked him to do.
But yeah, he completes 6 out of 10. He doesn't throw 2 interceptions to put. No,
I agree with you. I agree with you. I like I said, yes, Trevor Lawrence does turn the ball over, but again, if Kurt is your number 1 guy, but he's really a true 3,
$86 million deal.
Like at some, if he's covered, who do you throw the ball to?
Can anybody even name like another receiver right now other than Kirk on that team? And we only know
name
Kirk
the fact that we've spent way too much time on the Jaguars.
Well, I'll tell you what, my loser this week though is that number 2 overall pick in that same draft, and that's the New York Jets right now. I had picked them to go in there and make a statement against the New England Patriots, right? And the prophet even said, like, oh man, they don't do good against New England, all this stuff. And what happened? New England, who had laid an egg against Chicago, goes out there and makes Zach Wilson look horrible. The New York Jets are the same Jets until they can start beating some teams that have consistently beat them. They play in the AFC East, which they got to go through Buffalo. They got to go through Miami. They couldn't go through New England. You mean to tell me they couldn't go through New England? They're 5-2. New England was the favorite in that game. And I'm going, what does Vegas know? What does Vegas know that we don't? Because if you look at the record, we're wondering why.
Yes, Ricky.
Why, right? Yeah, Ricky, what do they know?
They knew a lot, apparently.
Yeah, they knew.
Hey, man. Vegas.
Man,
I don't know. Man. Like you said, the Jets, until the Jets start beating people consistently.
Yeah.
And we said they're showing glimpses, but they gotta put it together consistently. We've been saying
they got a young team,
now.
But same thing we could say about we say about Trevor Lawrence. We can say the same about Zach Wilson.
I mean, Wilson went out there and his completion percentage wasn't great, but he still threw for over 350
Zach
yards.
has a couple of decent pieces. He has some young pieces. He on defense and offense. He has some pieces. He has some pieces.
One of those pieces is complaining that he doesn't get the ball. They straight out asked him in a press conference and said, what do you say? He goes, how do you feel about your chemistry with Zach? And he goes, well, I can't tell you. I never get the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. That's Elijah Moore.
That's telling.
Elijah Moore doesn't.
That was Elijah Moore, right?
He doesn't touch the ball enough, though. Elijah Moore does not touch the ball enough.
Come on, man. You don't throw your quarterback.
You don't throw your quarterback under the
bus. No.
Yeah, you want to get the ball. You don't throw your quarterback.
I'm not agreeing with that. The way he handled that situation. I'm just saying, from watching the Jets play
should get the ball more.
And knowing what Elijah Moore is capable of doing, he doesn't touch the ball enough.
But at the same time, you got to look at play calling too now.
Yeah, it definitely
has a lot to do with that as well.
It does.
But I'm with you. You don't throw your guy under the bus like that.
Right.
No. I agree. I agree. I would, as a receiver, I wouldn't do that because I wouldn't touch the ball. Like,
how much is them losing Breece Hall hurt them offensively? Because he was a big part of what they were doing.
Yeah.
And I think that losing him took a lot out of their offensive game plan, honestly.
Yeah, I'll actually change my verbiage. I think it's massive for that team because Breece Hall was really becoming an elite back in this league where he was the home run hitter, and now they don't have that. And a young quarterback likes to have that running back they can dump it off to, the guy that they can hand it off, and he's going to take it 70. That helps him out, but absolutely crazy. Speaking of crazy, boys, did you guys see the trade deadline? Like, this was the craziest NFL trade deadline that I've ever seen. And instead of doing the 2-minute drill, because I was going to say, okay, let me go over some of these trades. Guys, I got a whole sheet right here. These were all the trades that have taken place in the last 2 weeks. So we're going to do something a little different than a 2-minute drill because it's going to take longer than 2 minutes. But take a look at some of these. We got the Bears traded for Robert Quinn. Bears traded Robert Quinn to the Eagles. Okay. They also traded Roquan Smith to the Ravens. Okay.
Yeah, take that.
So that's awesome right there. This was a huge one. The Broncos traded Bradley Chubb to the Dolphins in exchange for some picks and then Chase Edmonds.
That's crazy. Him and Phillips coming off the edge.
Yeah, man. So that's going to be big there in the Dolphins, for the Dolphins. The Chiefs traded Rashad Fenton to the Falcons. This was a big one that kind of was right at the wire. The Colts traded Naheem Hines to the Bills in exchange for running back Zach Moss. So they basically traded running backs there and a late round pick. Now Hines gives the Bills a different dynamic that I think that they were looking for from Cook that they're not getting right now.
Well, actually, Cook didn't have a bad game.
No, but I think they thought that he would be a little bit further along in it, and being a little bit more of a factor. And I think they went to go get Hines right now.
I think he's coming. I think that's why they let Moss go.
But they also brought in Hines that kind of does a lot of the same type of stuff, right?
Just switch it.
Right.
So bear with me real quick, fellas. We got the Commanders. They traded William Jackson, corner, to the Steelers. The Jets traded Jacob Martin to the Broncos. This was a big one for the Vikings. The Lions traded TJ Hawkinson, tight end, to the Vikings. That is big, I think. The weird one, Falcons traded Calvin Ridley to the Jaguars, which he's suspended all of this year. He's suspended indefinitely, which means I don't know when that dude's going to be able to play again. The Raiders traded defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins to the Cowboys. This was another big one for Justin Fields. The Steelers traded Chase Claypool to the Bears, which I think is massive to give him a piece because he didn't really have a go-to guy on that offense. Kadarius Toney to the Chiefs. So the Giants traded Toney to the Chiefs. The Jaguars traded James Robinson to the Jets. The 49ers traded Jeff Wilson to the Dolphins. And then I have the Panthers trading McCaffrey to the 49ers. This is every trade in the last 2 weeks. Guys, there's more trades in 2 weeks in the NFL than there ever has been the last 30 years at the trade deadline. I'll start with you, Slick. What of these trades stand out to you as the most impactful for the team getting their new player?
It would have to be either that Roquan Smith or either that Chubb, that Chubb deal to the Dolphins, because the Dolphins defense been playing ball this year. And like I said, they already had Phillips coming on off the edge on one end. By the way, he's a U guy. And now you have Bradley Chubb. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy.
What do you think, Drew? What stood out to you out of all these transactions? Who do you think got a player that's going to take him over the top?
I don't know if it's going to take him over the top, but it might take him to the middle, and that's the Steelers trading Claypool to the Bears. Like you said, Justin Fields had really nobody to throw the ball to, and I'm not the biggest Justin Fields guy, but dude, and to Ricky's point, that's all he ever says. When you got nobody to throw to, how good could you possibly be? Dude, he's got nobody. He had nobody, and now he's got somebody. So I'm curious to see how he's going to play out with Claypool. I think Claypool is a good player, man. Yeah. I was actually surprised to see the Steelers move on from him.
Me too. So early.
Yeah. And, obviously the McCaffrey thing is, he's one of the top players in the league. That is what it is. But I think, the Dolphins are really making some moves here with Chubb. And I think they had another trade too, didn't they? They got somebody else.
Yeah. So Jeff Wilson from the Niners. And by the way, that staff there in Miami is a lot of San Francisco guys. So you got Mike McDaniel down there. He was their offensive coordinator last year. So you got Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson now in that backfield. That offense.
Dolphins are going for it, man.
They are going for it. Brandon, what stood out to you with all this stuff that was going on?
Bro,
what's
I'm gonna tell you. Over the top? I gotta say it. Christian McCaffrey at the 49ers. Like, it's exciting what he's going to be able to do with the full offense behind him, where he doesn't have to be the only player on that offensive team. Like, that's going to be exciting to me. Of course, I want to say Roquan Smith. I don't know what the Bears were thinking, but I'll take that. I'll take it all day long. But, yeah, I have to say, man, out of this list, man, McCaffrey, that's going to be That's tough.
Yeah,
that's a tough one.
That one's huge.
One.
I think that's, to me, that's
the
biggest one because of how it changes that offense. Because
Yep.
I mean, you got Debo, you got McCaffrey, you got Ayuk, you got Kittle. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's scary.
That's scary stuff. But I also like Roquan Smith to the Ravens. The Ravens have had a hard time putting away games, right? And you bring in a guy that's a cornerstone piece to a team where linebacker is like, that's legendary status right there. He goes from the Bears, where monsters of the Midway, to the Ravens, where old number 52 used to patrol that middle of the field. And that's what Roquan Smith is going to be able to do to help that defense out. That he's a really dynamic defensive player. The other one that stood out to me was TJ Hawkinson. Like that offense for the Vikings now.
Aren't they in the same division too?
Exactly. Now, what's crazy to me, outside of all that stuff, we talk about how the Packers don't have a receiver, and there's not one transaction here to get Aaron a guy.
Yeah.
Like even like remotely a guy. So I mean, he's got to be all sorts of upset. Well, boys, with all these transactions, I'm wondering what that's going to do for fantasy. And just looking at a fantasy lineup, we got to bring in a guy that knows exactly what it's going to do. OG,
there he
is. What's happening, gentlemen?
Oh, the screen is crowded. We keep getting smaller.
We're about to play the Brady Bunch theme, you know, like have all these screens going. But Prophet, you got your dollar bills back up there.
Like
I see. Did Tony Three Thumbs? Did he bring back that money for you? What's going on?
Tony Three Thumbs and Joey Little Scar downstairs. They're watching the doors and all. So the vault was open again this evening. So everything's good. No Naughty tonight.
Came down off the bed.
You
came down from your blimp.
Yeah. Oh,
Willie Nelson's back from the road again, huh?
Yeah. That was a trying evening, to say the least.
More trying than the Viagra in your throat.
You know what? I actually think that's still stuck there. Yeah, I get a kink every now and then.
I forgot about that.
Oh my gosh. Well, hey, with all these trades that's going on, like that must be. I mean, you must be up all hours right now.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, but that's because I don't sleep. I got insomnia. So, but the football adds to it too. And let me stop a second here, okay? Brandon, welcome to the show. Best of luck with your gig, man. I hope it all works out for you. And,
appreciate it.
And Slick Rick and Slinger, great job so far.
Thank you,
BP,
Prophet.
I love you. You know that.
I do.
Let me get you guys caught up a little bit. You never asked me how my week went, okay? But
how's your week going, Prophet? How's your week going?
It was very trying, okay? Mrs. Prophet absolutely loves Halloween, so we had to take the red eye to get home, so she was in time to give out the candy. We had 100,000 little kids here. Boy, that almost was really bad. We ran out of candy, and I was just happening to go downstairs when she was grabbing the wrong batch of brownies to start handing out. It wouldn't have been good. Would not have been good. But, fortunately I caught her and, we got that all straightened out.
That wouldn't have been good.
Yeah. The good thing, taking the red eye home, we met Stephen King's son, Joe, on the plane. I'm not joking, but he is. But other than that, now we're ready for football.
I can't with you sometimes. I tell you what, my face is bright red over here. Probably as red as your eyes were the other day, Willie. All right.
Oh, that's one last thing. Okay, thank you, BP. I mean, you may have saved my life. Okay.
Go on.
You've been saying after the shows, my face has been red. I actually went to the doctors and got checked out, and my blood pressure is elevated. So she put me on medicine, and she told me to go on a diet. Well, I went on a whiskey diet. I haven't lost any weight yet, but I lost 3 days.
Oh my gosh. Well, I hope you got everything, ready to go. We have all these trades that are going on. We got fantasy football. We got lots of bye weeks. I know that I had to put 4 people on the bench that are on bye weeks this week. Prophet, help me out, man. Who we starting this week? Let's start off at quarterback. Who's your matchup that you really like this week?
Well, I hate doing this going back-to-back weeks, but, Murray is still a question mark if he's on your team. But put him in your lineup this week. Yeah, Kyler Murray going up against the Seahawks. They played a real low-scoring game earlier in the year. I think it was like 19-9. I see a shootout here this week. Put Murray in your lineup.
All right, I like it. Call of Duty's still out, and you said last week he might throw for 420. He didn't quite get there, but he had a hell of a week last week too. Even though it was a loss.
He got 320. He stopped a little short of the end, but that's okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
He got his number one back.
He did.
Yep.
Hey, there seems to be some sort of theme there, Slick, with number ones and quarterbacks having success, right? So I know that you know that. As far as running backs go, this is my favorite topic. Who should we start this week? Who's got a tremendous matchup that you just can't keep him on your bench this week?
Well, last 3 games against Detroit, he's got 428 yards from scrimmage and 7 touchdowns. Get AJ in your lineup, Aaron Jones.
Oh yeah, he's okay. So I know the Packers have been struggling, and I know last week he had a really good week against the Bills, even though that it was in a loss. It seems to be that they're starting to turn that way a little bit. You think that trend continues?
It continues. You guys touched on it earlier. All the receivers that were traded, they got Rodgers no help. He doesn't even want to throw the ball anymore, so he's going to be handing it off. And yeah, I mean, can you blame him now? Yeah, but then
I can't blame him.
Can you blame any of the receivers?
You and
for not
Rodgers
wanting
probably
to
go
catch
to the same guy. You and Rodgers probably go to the same guy for your stuff. I know it. Now,
no,
speaking of,
he actually hits the Hawaiian stuff, man. That's much better stuff than I get.
Oh my God. Okay, receivers wise, okay. So who you got to start this week? Who's got a great matchup?
Well, you guys were down talking him earlier, but I'm saying Christian Kirk. Okay, you got him on your team. Make sure he's in your lineup this week. Again, I see a high-scoring game there. The Raiders absolutely are terrible, but then again, so are the Jaguars. I see a high-scoring game there, and Kirk's going to put the ball in the end zone this week.
Okay. It seems like everybody's getting in the end zone against the Raiders this year so far, which is,
yeah.
I mean, everybody has. They haven't been able. They scored 0 points. Yeah.
Who's our resident Raider fan in this?
It's usually Matt. It's usually Matt, but I think he's probably turned it off. They're 2-5. So okay, so we got the stardoms. We got who's going to do great. Now we got a lot of buys. So if we're sitting somebody that's really got a bad matchup. Prophet, who's those guys who start off at the quarterback position who does not have a good matchup this week that you got to put on your bench?
Well, he may have a good matchup, but he sucks right now. Anyhow, Mac Jones. Okay,
Who?
You got 2 teams.
You don't get
two more teams. I mean, it seems like I could say this about every game, man. The 2 teams going against each other that are in total disarray. Indianapolis and New England, they don't know what direction they're going. Mac Jones, this week at least, is not the answer. You got him, bench him.
It doesn't help that he's looking over his shoulder either for Zappy, because I feel like he's got a short leash, and that's not a good situation. We both quarterbacks on this show know that that's not a good situation for any quarterback to be in, where you feel like you can't really let it go. So, okay, Mac Jones on the bench, got it. What running back we sitting on the bench this week that is going to have a bad week?
Well, 2 games last year, 25 for 58 yards and a touchdown. Michael Carter going up against the Bills. Again, it's hard. It's hard, coming in after you guys because you touch on a lot of my stuff. But I think last week we saw the start of the real New York teams, and it's all downhill.
Teams?
Both those teams?
Plural.
Oh, don't even go there about my Giants.
Plural. Yeah. come on, you can't watch that game last week and say anything good about your Giants, their Slinger.
Hey, that was in Seattle, though. We called it, though, saying that they were going to go to Seattle and going to have a hard time. Now, I said that was just going to be a bump in the road, but you're saying, like, kind of going forward, that we saw a glimpse of what's going to happen the rest of the season.
Well, moving forward, the Giants could make it so one of the teams in the South, North, or West can actually get into the playoffs this year, other than division winners. I mean, I really do see the Giants falling apart the rest of the way out.
All right. Well, that we'll stick that in our caps right there. That's big.
Okay,
so running back, we got Michael Carter. Sit him if you got him. What receivers do we just stay away from this week?
DJ Moore. I mean, and this is not a knock against him by no means. He's a phenomenal receiver. Boneheaded move last week, although I do not agree with that ruling.
That was a bad. I felt like that was a bad call to
You
make.
can't take your help. We're not going to go down this road, boys.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not going to go down this road, but you can't. You haven't been able to take your helmet off in the NFL since the beginning of time.
That's
it's
true.
The rule. It's the rule, and I get it, But I mean, I just hate it that defensive players can run the length of the field after a pick, and the whole wait 5 minutes for the defensive lineman to catch up and celebrate like hell in the end zone. But he can't take. He thought he just won the game.
Should have won the game.
Yeah, but
that penalty got him. Yeah, you're right.
Problems, Larry.
And it's not, like I said, it's not a knock against him because I think he's a great receiver. But after Monday night showing, I think Cincinnati's going to be pissed off this week, and they're going to come out and shut Carolina down.
So bench DJ Moore. That's what you're saying, OG.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying there.
Hey, you've been spot on with a lot of these. Like, I mean, every single week in our text string that we got going on, we're like, man, he said it. He said it. We heard it on Wednesday. So make sure that you're listening to what the prophet says because he's setting you up for success. Speaking of success, if you happen to still be in a survivor pool, which, by the way, one of mine went up because everybody went out by week 5. So we went in again because this year's been so crazy. Who's your lock pick this week? And then we'll get to the waiver wire right after.
Well, it's a nice thing. It's week 9, and I still have the Eagles available to play. So,
what a week, huh?
Yeah, I think even if they crap the bed like some of these people like to use in the list here, they still win this game by 10 points.
Listen, he's on. He got one of those brownies back. All right, so the Eagles against the Texans, that's definitely a gimme. I like that a lot. Lucky, by the way, that you still have the Philadelphia Eagles available in week 9. Good for you. I'm happy for you.
I know. Well, hey, had you listened to me from day one, you'd be in the same boat. Yeah,
fair enough.
Because I mean, I'm technically 7-1 and going into this week, but because of the smartphones, I sent the Slinger a message 2 weeks ago, and it auto-corrected me and gave him the wrong pick. But I'll take the loss because, he put it out there for me. I'll take the loss. But, it was New England. I had New York, and it said to you New England. Autocorrect. I know how to spell York. Why are they autocorrecting me to England? Come on. Now I'm getting worked up. I got to
you high or something?
Got to bring it
down. Okay, so speaking of getting me all worked up, because I looked at my fantasy lineup on Tuesday and I noticed I have a lot of guys on buys this week. I'm having to hit the waiver wire hard. Who should I be going after that's still out there in a lot of leagues that is going to help me out this week?
Well, I don't have a running back for you this week. I don't think there's any worthy, but if Andy Dalton is available in your league and you need a quarterback, I think Andy Dalton's not a bad pickup. And also going back to my quarterback to get in, his receiver Rondale Moore. I know Hopkins you ain't gonna get; he's long gone. But Rondale Moore might be available to you, and if he is, go get him.
Some touches, yeah, he's been getting some touches. He's been getting some points. We love it, man. Well, Prophet, I know that you always have something to say afterwards, so I'll turn it over to you. We appreciate all the wisdom as always. Love having you on the show. Sorry to hear about your blood pressure, but it happens, especially week
Well,
9 of the NFL season. It's gonna happen, you know.
So I'm thankful for that. So, okay, let's get on to the Win the Profits money. The winner was paid out today, and she had a good week. I think she had what was her name? Slinger. Do you remember?
Laura. Something. Actually, a former player of mine, his mom.
Yeah, she had like 190 points or so, which it's indicative of the league. The past 2 weeks, scoring has been up in the league, so the fantasy scoring's up higher. But even with that being said, I'm going to change things up a little bit. It's still going to be $20 a week to the winner, but if you score over 200 points and you win, you'll get $25 from here on out. Okay,
I love it. Okay,
little $5 bonus. Make sure
little
you put that in
bonus.
Put that in the email and the Facebook post.
Yeah, I'll do that.
If you score over 200 and win, not over 200. If you score over 200 and win,
right,
you get the extra $5.
And big shout outs to Debbie and Woodrow and Larry and Joshua. Guys, last week was fun. It was informative and it was fun. I mean, I'm glad I was able to entertain you. Guys, we love you all. Everybody that put something in that line there. Plus, everybody that listens after. We love you guys. Thank you. And let's get to the emails real quick, and I can get out of here. Okay. Email
I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah, no. It's all good this week. I'm taking it easy. Like I said, my BP's high, so I gotta calm down a little.
I am not.
No, you're not my BP. Okay, I get it. Okay.
The odd couple.
First email comes in from Dick H. And he didn't put his last name in, probably a good thing, but he asked, should I start Tyler Algier or Nyheim Hines? And I like both matchups here, but with Hines being first week, I don't know how much he's going to actually be on the field. I think I would go with Tyler Algier in that one, Dick. Yeah, and the last one comes from a Howard B., and he writes, Prophet, should I start Khalil Herbert or Corey Davis as my flex options? It's a tough call. I don't like Corey Davis at all this week, but I've been talking high about Khalil Herbert, but he is actually the third running back on the team, behind Montgomery and Fields. So, but I think I'd still play Herbert there.
I love it. Larry likes it too. He's ready for Herbert on that one too.
And that's all I got for tonight, guys. I forgot.
Hey, we love it, man. We appreciate you as always. Definitely, we can't wait to see what you got for us next week. But we'll get you out of here. Go take care of yourself, man, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Prophet. All right.
We'll see you guys.
See ya.
All right, man. He's always got some good stuff going on there. Hey, we got to get to our picks, but before we get there, we got to go ahead and show our leaderboard that we got going on here. So we got Griff. That's my mother. That's up there at the top. Now I'm in there for a baseline, right, to see kind of where we're at. But we got Heeman 55. It was up there for 4 weeks in a row. Has been dethroned at the top. So he had a rough week. We got Ice Cubey. I know that you like to say Ice Cube. They're at fourth, and then Tap the Rockies there at fourth. So it's still a really close race. Guys, it goes all the way down to, I think, 10th place, and it's all within a matter of 4 picks. So there's so much time, so much going on in this season.
Is for what, $100
Yep,
$100 gift card of your choosing.
Or maybe we could just Venmo it, whatever. We'll figure that out. But yeah, $100 of a gift card of your choosing on the line. We had a really good, my dad's starting to creep back up in there with 11. Greg won it last week, 12 wins, 3 losses. That's a hell of a week, guys, if you're trying to pick and knowing how this year's gone. So really awesome job. Thank you guys so much for playing. We're keeping this going, and we hope to help you guys out with our picks this week. And speaking of our picks, we got the Lucy's New York style pick of the week going up right here. Let me get this going. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Texans. Now, boys, are any of us going for the Texans? Let's just clear that up right now. Because
There's
No
a lot
way.
of talk, man. There's a lot of talk of this being a trap game for the Eagles, a letdown game. But I think, like the prophet said, even if it's a letdown game, the Eagles still are going to win. Eagles still will win this game.
All right. Well, we got to get our scores in on this because this is important. We got another guest here that's going to throw his score at it, and we'll see if he can get close. So we got to get this thing, man. We're
Is
9
Lucy's
weeks in.
okay with adding a fourth here? I don't know.
I guarantee it.
We're raising their probability of.
I guarantee it. Now,
All right.
Slick. Now I know the scores for you right here. What do you got? Philly. What do you got them as? Because they're huge favorites in this game. What is the spread? 13 over under 45. What do you got as the score for this one, Slick?
I think I might go like maybe like 35-14.
Okay. 35-14. All right. I like it. Drew, what you got, man?
That's funny because my prediction was going to be 34-13.
All right.
Yep.
Honest to God, Ricky.
I believe you. That's why
I
I'm
know
laughing.
you. I know you like to
guys-
carry. You like to go off the coattails.
I believe
whenever I
you.
make the picks. But that was usually I go first. So, but yeah, that was my prediction. 34-13.
All right, Brandon, what you got, man? What score are you
Hey.
throwing out towards us?
I like Philly 31, Texans. Let's go with 10. I think they get a score and a kick in the air. 31-10.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot to a little.
Yep.
All right. All right, we got 35-14, we got 34-13, and 31-10. Man, how can I throw in a little? I'm going to go with. Man, you guys are covering them all here. You guys are covering them all. Let's go
It's
with
like
something
you're
weird.
on Price
I'm
is
gonna
Right
go.
and you bet $1.
Yeah, $1,
$1,
Bob.
Bob.
$1,
Give me
Bob.
$1.
I'm going to go with.
Somebody's always gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 33-7. 33-7.
Seven?
Philly. Yeah, I'm going to give them 7 points.
I like it.
All right,
Okay.
so we're all in the 30s. I feel if the Philadelphia Eagles can't get in the 30s against the Texans, like I feel that's a pretty safe bet. We got all the way up to they better not score 40. I'll be pissed. But we got our picks in. We're all going Philly. We all got our scores in, and that's it for this week's Lucy's New York Style Pick of the Week. And remember, if it's not Lucy's, forget about it.
You guys slowed it down on me. That's
All right, we got Slick's Chargers
We're late.
going to Atlanta. Okay, going to Atlanta. This is a big game. This is a big game for both teams. Now, Atlanta is leading the NFC South right now. They are winning that division. And we got the Chargers that this is about as, I mean, they need to stack some of these wins up to try to keep up with Kansas City right now. So, Slick, we'll start with you. Who you got this week? What do you like?
I picked the Chargers. Hoping that they can get back in rear form. On top of the fact, I mean, yeah, like the last 1 or 2 games, Falcons been looking okay, but I still don't believe in the Falcons.
It's tough. All right, Drew. Slick's got the Chargers.
I got the Chargers in this one too. I just think that the Chargers coming off a bye, right? Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Coming off a bye. Herbert's got time to heal a little bit, get healthier. I'm just not a huge Mariota believer. I think the Chargers are going to take this one.
Okay. Brandon, what you got, man? What you got, BG?
I'm going in the opposite direction, man. Come on, Falcons. Atlanta at home. They got this BS win last week, right? So I just think they're strong. I think they're going to come in. I think Mariota's going to do it. I think Chargers are going to come across the states and really, not put up a good fight. I personally think that. So I'm going with Atlanta.
Brandon, I'm so glad that you came on the show. And it seems to be, if you have the name Brandon, that you happen to think alike in this game, because I also have the Falcons. This is a nightmare matchup for the Chargers right now.
It is.
The Chargers are not good against the run. And guess what Atlanta does really, really well? They run the stinking ball, and they'll run it down your throat. Now, I know the Chargers normally have a lot of firepower, but Keenan Allen is questionable going into this week, and rumor has it he hurt his hamstring a little bit during the bye week even further. So I'm not sure if he's going to come out, if he's going to be out there
in the bye week. What are you doing?
He's been out.
Running sprints.
He's been out. Yeah,
I
I don't know if he had a setback in his rehab, but he was out the previous week too. And they're also missing Mike Williams. I don't know if he'll be out for this week too, but I just know this is a matchup that is really going towards the weakness of what the Chargers have. If Atlanta plays ball control like I've seen them do this year, I like Atlanta in this game for the upset. And I think Atlanta, if they are able to pull this off, they might be for real. I'll just say it right now. They do have a good formula, and Marcus Mariota, he's been playing well this year. He's been playing well.
You know who's not playing well is the Phillies. They're getting no hit right now.
Oh no, that is not good. Let's move on to this NFC West matchup of the Seattle Seahawks that are winning the NFC West right now, 5-3 against the Cardinals, who are desperate for a win in Glendale. Arizona's a favorite by 2 points. We got an over-under of 50.5. A profit called for a shootout. Vegas happens to think so. Slick, who you got in this game?
I went with the Seahawks. Geno, I got to admit it, he's been looking pretty decent this year. I don't know if it was like the time away from being a starter and he got a chance to kind of like become like a student of the game all over again, or I don't know what it is, but he's been looking pretty good this year. So I'm going to Seahawks.
He has, isn't he? You're going Seahawks. He has been playing really well. He's kind of he's creeping his way into some of these conversations for some offseason awards.
He's doing well. And Walker, absolutely, running back from Michigan State, he's been running the ball well as well.
Yeah. Okay. So you got the Seahawks. All right. Drew, who you got in this game?
I mean, you're talking about Geno Smith. He's got 13 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. He's definitely putting up good numbers, but the Cardinals, I think, are back on track. Ever since Hopkins came back, Murray's looked a lot better. What's Ricky always say? You need that number one. And Kyler's got it back. He's got his baby back. Listen, I'm not going to say that I didn't listen to the Prophet last week because my QB, Justin Herbert, was on a bye. So I picked up Kyler Murray. Had me a game. I won 115 to like 60. So I'm going to roll with the Cardinals for a little while here. So
I like it.
The only reason Kyler Murray's on the waiver wire is because we don't have a bench in our league, for those who wonder.
Oh, that would be – yeah, that's tough. Holy cow. Yeah. BG, who you got, man?
I got to go with Seattle. I think Seattle is 8-3-1. I'm reading it. 8-3-1 in Arizona. And Geno is playing some good ball, man. I got to go with Seattle against the Cardinals. It makes sense to me, man.
I'll tell you what. So we got Slick, you got the Seahawks. Drew, you got the Cardinals. BG's got the Seahawks. I'm going to tie it up. I'm going to go 2.
Split it.
I got the Cardinals in this game. Now, the Cardinals are playing with some desperation here. This really is, to me, if they go 3-6, they're done. Stick a fork in them, they're done the rest of the season. They need this win desperately. The Seahawks are riding high off of a win against the Giants. They're going to Glendale. I totally understand, Brandon, what you're saying. That record, I saw it too. I just got a feeling with the Cardinals, the way that their offense is getting going. That Seahawks defense is not anything special. There's going to be some points in this game, and I just don't think that the Seahawks offensively are going to be able to match with the Cardinals. The Cardinals still have a decent defense, so I think that's going to be the difference. I'm going to go with the Cardinals this week. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, man, we got a playoff matchup from last year. This is the game of the week. I love this. We got the Rams. We're coming off a loss against the Buccaneers, who have lost 3 in a row. We're looking at 2 teams that are desperate. Looks like Vegas has Tampa as the early favorite with -3 and the over-under at 42.5. Slick, this is a toss-up for me. What do you got? Who do you got in this game?
I was in the beginning of the whole season, I was hoping that the Rams came back this season and did some good things, but they've been letting me down. And it kind of blew me that I had to pick the Bucs because I really don't like the Bucs. But I just think TB12 and the rest of those guys come back this week and get things together against a down Rams, struggling Matt Stafford.
And that's huge too. Like this game has huge implications for what that playoff picture could look like for both of these teams going forward. I mean, if Tampa loses, they're done. Like I don't think that they have a shot at coming back at this. And I think you can say the same thing about the Rams.
Yeah.
You know, if they go down to 3-5, it's a very bleak outlook for them. So Drew, what do you think? Do you agree with Slick that it's going to be Tampa Bay, or do you think LA pulls it out?
So who would have thought in the beginning of the year that we would be talking about these two teams being at the bottom of the barrel? I don't think anybody would have predicted it.
No. Or had been called crazy if you did.
Yeah. Larry just said Brady's finally free to play ball, and I feel like that's the truth. All the news is out there. It's happening. He's a single man again. He's a bachelor. His mind is clear. His legs are sturdy. And you know what I'm saying? You guys know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? All right. And the Rams, like, let's be honest, man. The Rams just got beat by a really average team, and they got their chances handed to them, dude.
You
like,
couldn't go a second without saying that. Unbelievable.
Got embarrassed last week on national television, and I think the Buccaneers are going to pounce on that. Cup might not play in this game, and I think the Rams are, they're on shaky ground right now, and I think the Buccaneers, like you said, they can't go 4 in a row, man. So I got the Bucs in this one.
What do you got, BG? I can't believe he had to sneak that in there, man. I can't believe
he had to. Look, man, the Buccaneers got beat up last week. I can't remember who they played, but they got beat up. I think Mike Evans is out. Julio Jones is out. I got to go with LA. Cup is out, but at the same time, I just don't think Brady's going to have those weapons with him. So I got to go with LA.
Man, this one was a toss-up for me because I went back and forth on this. I can see a game where Tom Brady just comes out on fire, kind of to Drew's point. Like, we can't have this anymore. The sense of urgency that team is going to have this week is going to be unprecedented. Anytime that Tom Brady has his back against the wall, I've seen that man come out swinging. Now, LA, same thing. They're the defending Super Bowl champions, and how they performed coming off a bye, no less, against San Francisco, losing to them, they're going to come out with some fire. I almost want to change my pick because I know how that defensive line of LA is going to come out, and that's kind of the weakness of the Buccaneers. But I'm going to stick with Tampa. I think Tampa's going to get it done. I've seen Brady do some amazing things. I'm going to ride him one more week. If he gets it done this week, they're still in the race. They're still able to kind of get some things done. It's going to be tough for the Rams without Cooper Kupp this week. That's the one guy they have going. Allen Robinson has not really been that guy. Higbee was kind of banged up in that game too. So I'm going to go with the Buccaneers at home. I think that's going to be the difference in this one. So I'm going to stick with Tampa.
Hey, listen, Brady might not be a daddy to his kids anymore, but he's going to be the Rams' daddy on Sunday. That's my prediction, right?
My God. Hey, now this is a sneaky, crazy, good matchup that we got going on here, but Vegas doesn't seem to think so. Vegas seems to think that Kansas City is going to run away with this game. The Titans are 5-2, winning, or right now leading the AFC South. You got the Chiefs that are also 5-2 that are leading the AFC West. This has major playoff implications. Now, people forget that the Tennessee Titans were the number 1 seed last year. They're going into Kansas City, and we know that the Titans, what their game plan is running the ball, trying to play defense, but Kansas City is potent on offense. Slick, who you got in this matchup on Sunday Night Football?
I got the Chiefs, like you said. Titans, like everybody in there in America knows that the Titans are going to run the ball with Derrick Henry. They're going to dink and doink with Willis and whatever the case may be. I just don't feel like their defense can hold up Kansas City for 4 quarters. Not with Mahomes at quarterback. I really don't. I think it'll be a shootout, though. I don't think it'll be a low-scoring game, but I do think it'll be a shootout just because I don't think the Chiefs will do well with the run game. But I think they'll get maybe like 1 or 2 stops.
Okay. All right. So you got the Chiefs in this one. Drew, who you got in this game, man?
So look, in order for the Titans to be in this game, if Tannehill's not going to play, Willis has got to be a factor in this game. And I just don't see that happening. He's got to be a factor in the pass game, and he's not there yet. I got the Chiefs in this one. If Tannehill doesn't play, I got the Chiefs in a no-brainer. I think you can't just. I mean, you can't just run the ball against teams like the Chiefs, man. They're too good of a football team. If Tannehill does play, then it's a different story. It might be a closer game, but I still got the Chiefs in this one.
BG, what you got, man?
Yeah, it's gonna be a pounding, but you got to go with the Chiefs, man. They're gonna score. They're gonna get up early, quick, and stay on top.
Well, get out the broom because we're sweeping it with the Chiefs. I want to think about the Titans because I know that they're that team that's kind of been hanging around, and they've been in those big games against the Chiefs in the playoffs and have kind of given them a headache, into the third and fourth quarter, and the Chiefs finally put it away. I wouldn't be surprised if it's that type of game, but just like I said, that's best case scenario for the Titans in this. It's so tough to be able to go point for point with Patrick Mahomes, and especially the way that they're playing. The last time they were on the field, they played damn near a perfect game against a really good defense. And I think they're going to do that again this week. And it's on prime time. It's in Arrowhead. That place is going to be loud. And if Malik Willis is playing, watch out. That's a nasty environment to go into. I got KC. All right, boys, let's take a look at what our leaderboard looks like. There's a whole lot of green on here,
goodness.
Which was nuts. I couldn't believe it. But right now, I've been leading this the entire way. It's not going to change this week. Doesn't
look like it's possible to change this week.
Doesn't look like it's possible. You might gain a game on me, but if I get that Atlanta game, boom, 3-game lead's pretty tough. Slick, I like you had another good week, man. I like you're building that momentum. You're building that momentum. I like it a lot. But this is
dug out of that 500. That 500.
Stayed out of it too for 2 weeks.
Hey, man. It's not where you started, it's where you finish.
I agree.
That's true. We're right. I mean, we're right at the midway point of the season. A lot of football left to be played, but this is I was surprised to see the green because there was a lot of games that you could go back and forth on, that Seahawks Cardinals game, where, Slick, I see you got Seattle there. But then, Colts Patriots, I could see that going either way, but we swept it with New England. As bad as the Vegas Raiders have been playing, we all went with Vegas. I was surprised there. It's one of those weeks where, Tampa Bay, I couldn't believe that all of us went with Tampa Bay. I thought somebody would at least take the Rams, but here we go. BG, you got the Rams there, so you like it.
Watch them.
I can't wait to revisit that. But it's time for our hot shots of the week.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
All right, let's start in the upper right corner. Slick, who's your hot shot of the week, man?
Like we talked about earlier, the high school that I coach at, we are playoff bound. As of right now, we're the 8th seed. After Friday, still 4 teams have to play. We could possibly move up to either 7th or 6th. And to my knowledge, the program hasn't been to the playoffs, I want to say, since like 2000 and I don't know the exact year, but I know it was early 2000s. Which is like pretty much over a decade, kind of. So
that's awesome, man. That's huge. I know that you were stressing about this week. Your brother was stressing about last week as far as how the game went, and to be able to get into that playoff spot, not doing it for a while, man, that's absolutely huge. So awesome job there, Slick.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Love it. Drew, I can't wait to hear this, man. You always come up with something big time for hot shots. What do you got this week?
Well, first of all, I can't take a shot because I'm trying to stay sober so I can stay awake for the end of the Phillies game here. It's a late night here on the East Coast. My hot shot of the week goes out to a man by the name of Michael McGuire. And I wish I had this queued up for last week, and I didn't queue it up this week. But I'm sure you guys have seen it by now. He's a Kentucky coal miner who showed up courtside with his son at the his photo went viral.
Yeah,
he showed up courtside with his son at the University of Kentucky basketball game. This guy showed up he's a coal miner. He showed up in full uniform, face covered in dirt, arms covered in dirt. He was filthy dirty, man. And he rushed home from work in a coal mine to be able to be there for his son to watch the Kentucky basketball game. And then the head coach, John Calipari, got wind of it and offered them, VIP tickets and stuff like that for a future game. So, dude, it just, pulled at your heartstrings a little bit, man. Somebody who's out there breaking their back, to provide for the family, and then still make sure that they get home and spend time with their kids and have a good experience for them. So that's my hot shot of the week.
Salute to that
awesome,
guy.
Drew. Absolutely. I saw that picture. I thought the same thing, man. And it looks like that they're taking care of him a little bit. Like they got him some tickets and passes or whatever. So I thought that was really cool, man. Really cool. Brandon, hey, your inaugural hot shot of the week, man. What you got, man?
This is kind of a funny one. Hot shot of the week goes to LeBron James and the LA Lakers.
Did they finally win one?
They got a win. Yeah, they got a W, man. And
they got a win? Good for them.
and they were so happy. Somebody said Kobe Bryant's rolling in his grave right now. They're like 1-5.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it goes to the LA Lakers, man.
Them poor Lakers.
Oh my gosh. Well, hey man, I'm gonna get a little sentimental here. My hot shot of the week goes to you guys. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. We had an opportunity to go over and play football overseas to kind of live our dream in a way. And the fact that we get to reconnect and do this every single week. And Brandon, I wanted to do this when you were on here too. It's just awesome. I always say football is family, and it really, really is. Like we look out for each other. We root for each other in our everyday lives. So this one's to you guys, man. I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And right back at you, dude, because you guys are my hot shot of the week. So,
thanks, BP.
Love my guy.
That's the backyard blitz.
It is.
It's the Rostock blitz.
It is the Rostock blitz, man. I tell you what. I tell you what, boys. A's, this time next week, we're going to be back. Let's get that outro going. Woo! Hey, I don't see your board up there. You just got the big P going. You're ready to go. Left.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's about to drop.
It's going to go. Oh, God.
Oh,
no. Oh, no.
That's
Man,
a terrible omen. That was my Philly side.
Holy cow. Oh, that's horrible.
Side.
You're getting no hit right now. Hey, thanks, Brandon, for showing up, man. I appreciate you. Make sure that you go check out his app. Get that thing downloaded. Take care, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same channel. We're out.
Appreciate you,
Kick rocks, Larry.
BG.
Appreciate you, man. Hey, nice to meet y'all boys, man.
Same.